Hi, welcome to Rajalne. Today we are going to discuss about business analyst in the Guidewire application. As you all know, business analysis is a kind of role which is essentially important in any of the application development. So being a business analyst, we act as a liaison between business and technical communities. So this is nothing to do with any technology. This is nothing to do with domain. Role of a business analyst is one same in any organization. But in real environment, we see business analyst roles are useful for every organization now and then, because this is not something confined only for an IT companies or alone, because IT organizations provide multiple services of their customers, maybe from different domains, maybe from banking, insurance, healthcare, retail, supply chain, logistics, all that. But apart from even IT companies, even we have even banking and insurance sectors even, where they are providing the services for their customers, especially if you take insurance as a sector in large across the world, where they have different insurance services will be provided to the individuals and as less for the organizations by them. Either it could be life insurance, it could be property and casualty, or else it could be health insurance, it could be auto insurance, marriage, all these things comes under like PNC, all that, right? So different insurance services will be provided. Whenever they are providing all these services, there must be an application which is required. So because technology has become an integral part of everyone's nowadays in any organization, it was penetrated. Because technology is becoming inevitable, it became inevitable. Technology importance has increased a lot. Even every whatever the business process do we require to follow, end of the day, technology is something essentially important to understand with. So in insurance sector, usually there are two kind of major insurance applications they will be using. This is in contact to PNC insurance, like property and casualty insurance. There are two kind of applications they use. So one is Guidewire and second is Deckrink. These are the two major prominent applications used across people who are working on the insurance sector. So people who wants to transform their career into the role of a Guidewire related business analyst and all that. So this presentation and as well as the kind of session I'm taking now is completely focusing on the people who wants to transform or who wants to make their career towards BA, all that. Let's getting into the point now. The first thing, what is that I'm going to discuss in today's session is about what exactly Guidewire is all about. As I stated some time back, Guidewire is a kind of application which majorly allows to create different insurance policies in any of the organization in reference to the insurance companies, all that. At the same time, this is also being used to adjust the claims like claim processing, payments, generating reports, and all everything in any of the insurance sector, insurance company. There are two, as I told you, like Guidewire is one kind, and second is we have another application called Deckrink. So what we are focusing on this video is completely on Guidewire. Again, in this Guidewire, usually this will be having three different services under Guidewire, three different, I can say like three different features or three different services are under Guidewire. So one is about policy center, second is billing center, followed by the claim center. So these are the three different things will be there in it. Now, when we talk about the features of this, when we talk about the features of the Guidewire itself is concerned, because as I told you, this is nothing to do with policy center. This is nothing to do with billing and claims. The features of Guidewire are four majorly to understand it. The first thing is to have a business process management. This will be helpful for an insurance to ability to define a long run insurance processes, because performing a process of insurance is a continuous thing, which right from taking policy to claims, right? So it's a continuous process. Any insurance organization has to follow it. To have that, they need to have a clear understanding over the business process management, which is especially useful for the people to manage all these. So hence, the Guidewire is having a feature where it enhances the business process management for any insurance company. At the same time, it will provide us a security where to control an application. Either it could be a functionality, could be a data, or it could be the accounts which are relating to that, the kind of claims, policies, all that security will be provided through Guidewire. At the same time, when we talk about configurations, it helps insurance companies to extend the data models as well as the screens of the application, so that whatever the best and provided configurations can be provided here subsequently. Next, when we talk about integration, where it provides a variety of integration mechanisms, which are completely including like event-based messages, when sending some web services APIs, because application programming interface is useful to connect between applications, so that if you want to access any information from other this thing involved, there is an API has to be written by a developer, which is called application programming interfaces, all that. So that messaging, event-based messages, at the same time web services APIs at any point in application. So even this integration services can also be provided through this Guidewire. So these are the major 4 features will be there in this. One is business process management is one feature, followed by security configuration. Last but not least, integration. So these are the 4 features you can see in Guidewire itself. Now, when we see about what exactly this policy center billing and as well as claims is being used. So this policy, because as I told you, there are 3 things we have. So one is policy and as well as billing and claims. When we talk about this, it helps to launch innovative new products in weekly and as well as when and wherever it is needed. Majorly, it is used to manage the changing of the customer needs, because customer needs and perceptions demands may vary from time to time, depends on the situation to situation. So based on that, insurance companies wants to come up with some new innovative products into the market, something like migrating or integrating multiple products and coming up with some new plan, something which is customization kind of. So that's how usually this innovation is required. So for that, they have to scale up all this to make it more successful, so that all this must be there in a single core insurance policy administration system. That's what usually one thing. At the same time, it also helpful to boost the collections and as well as loyalties of that sort. Followed by this, claim centers majorly enables us to automate and as well as optimize workflows. Not only that, not only a workflow process of claims, whatever the submissions, claims adjudications, all that. At the same time, it will also be useful for delivering the streamlined claim settlements, because insurance people will receive claims and they have to settle accordingly based on the inputs they have received from the service provider. At the same time, they have to provide the frictionless, transparent claim experiences to the customers as per their desire, all that. Right. So this is how usually this policy center billing, claims and all everything is being used here. Now, when we talk about 3 different policy billing and as well as claim centers, these are the 3 things. Policy center will prioritize policyholders' experiences. It sees opportunities fast and scale the business towards success. Now, when we talk about billing center, it creates efficiency everywhere, offers unbeatable conveniences and automation for agility. Now, when we talk about claim center, it optimizes the outperform, and at the same time, it must be customer centric and embrace innovation. So these are the three different things which will be there under policy, billings, followed by the claims itself. Now, when we see about the role of a business analyst, because this is where we focus more on the role of a business analyst, a person who wants to transform their career towards BA, having experience in the field of insurance earlier, or a person who are having experience as a business analyst and get into the role of an Guidewire business analyst or PNC side. So there are, of course, there are some common responsibilities we can see. Apart from the common responsibilities, which is something relating to Guidewire, is also required. The common responsibility is to analyze, understand, and document the requirements. Usually, to prepare documentation, we prepare something like business requirements, functional and software requirement specifications with the help of technical team. So for that, we need to translate technical needs into technical specification with the help of technical team, because business and functional related information will be gathered and identified by the business analyst team. But in reference to the technical specification preparation, you require some technical knowledge. It varies, depends on the person who and which professional experience that individual coming from. At the same time, we can even have a support with the technical team when and wherever it is needed. Next, we need to monitor and trace the Guidewire incidents, because incident management system is one of the core element under Guidewire, which being a BA one has to be good with. At the same time, review tickets and submissions, plan, facilitate, and conduct requirement gathering sessions and the meetings with necessary people when and wherever it is needed. At the same time, we have to update the business processes, followed by the kind of use cases, screen specifications, mockups, followed by the kind of process flows which are required in reference to the business. Last but not least, maybe sometimes we may be required to prepare user manuals, but as a being a business analyst, this is not something necessary important for all the profiles, because there are some slight variation, depends on the role what is that we carry, right? So at the same time, the being a BA, what sort of experience and what level of experience an employer is expecting, based on that, whether will be participation of preparing user manuals and all everything slightly vary, right? So but otherwise, use cases, screen specifications, mockups, process flows, all these things are essentially important for any BA to perform. At the same time, business analysts should be able in a position to understand the business applications of Guidewire, majorly onto three things. One is policy, billing, and claims. At the same time, as I told you, they have to understand the workflows, processes, needs, followed by the kind of constraints, if any. Followed by this, nowadays, whatever the application development we are doing, the kind of solutions we are going to provide is completely tuning towards agile process and frameworks, where it provides value-added services to the customer within the specific timelines, so that delivery of the work can be much faster. So for that, agile process and frameworks is being used. So if you want to know more about agile process and frameworks, all that, there are my class videos followed by some presentations was already posted in my YouTube channel, so that if you want, you can refer about agile process, frameworks, and all that. That information was there. And followed by this, some relevant video related links in reference to the agile will also be posted in this description, below to the description, so that you can have a glance over, so that you'll have a knowledge over agile process, frameworks, all that. At the same time, last but not least, we need to understand the product model, ratings, forms, policy transactions, integrations, all that. So these are the major roles and responsibilities on a high level note. So of course, I have not given that all the detailed part, because the detailed roles and responsibilities of a business analyst vary, depends on the kind of role they are expecting. Because if you are from policy related business analyst, the roles and responsibilities will vary. At the same time, if they are looking something relating to billing, or else at the same time claims and all everything, it will be varying. So business analyst in reference to the Guidewire is not completely relating to three. Some people look for Guidewire policy center related BA they may require. Some people may require billing related. Some people may require claims related, right? So this is where roles and responsibilities will be vary, and it will be more even. And whoever wants to pursue and whoever wants to learn, they have to better. My advice, of course, I don't say that it is mandatory, but my advice is to learn this Guidewire business analyst in the context, either in the source of the billing, or maybe policy center, or maybe uh, claims, right? So anyone, because three will be much larger. Depends on the interest and as well as the time, what is that we invest, it will vary, of course, that's a different thing. So this is how usually the role of the business analyst in reference to the Guidewire is being used for. Now, this is how usually what I am going to present is the eligibility criteria. So what are and who are eligible to become business analyst in Guidewire? First point, professionals who are working in the insurance sector, irrespective of the kind of role which they are designated earlier, but person who are having experience in the field of insurance sector and who wants to transform their career towards BA role can come for. Second point, a person who is working as a business analyst now in different sectors where they wants to switch over their career towards BA to Guidewire. So those people are also eligible here. Third point, any professional who wants to transform their career, because business analyst is a kind of course or a role. People who wants to look for career transformation, those people will apply. Majorly, I can say, I don't say that 100%, but 80% people who wants to transform their career towards the field of IT and other domains, they'll choose it's an entry gate for them to enter into. This is where BA will be applicable. So that those people are eligible. Even business management students who wants to start their career as a business analyst. So of course, they are also eligible. But some organizations will hire BAs, will hire business management students, and they provide internal training. That will happen sometimes. And some people, they can learn on their own, in their individual interests, they can learn. At the same time, other interested participants, whoever wants to, because there will be some learners, right? So enthusiasm of learning new things, right? So those people can also uh, are eligible there, but depends on the profile what they carry earlier, it will vary. Right? So if you have any confusions over this career transformation related, you always have a possibility you can reach out to me so that I will guide you in whichever the professional experience you belong to. If you want to become a business analyst in reference to the Guidewire, you always can reach out to me so that I can help you out the possible extent what it can. So these are the eligible criteria in reference to the BA Guidewire. And last but not least, this is how usually this phases of Guidewire cloud implementation looks like, where it will be focused more on this. So one is about the readiness part, which will be carried out from 1 to 4 weeks of time. Second transition will be for 3 to 4 weeks. Migrations and everything will be for 2 to 4 months. Stabilization 2 to 4 months, and deployment will be for 1 week and a month time. Now, when we talk about the readiness stage, which included assessments of pre-work and as well as review of technical findings from any cloud optimization backlogs, which will be taken anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks, depends on the size of the organization. When we talk about transition stage, which included program roadmap definitions, development of list of designated functions and key workflows. At the same time, it is being used to creation of conceptual sprint plans, process testing strategies and all, which may be taken 3 to 4 weeks time. Now, when we're talking about migration stage, which includes cloud optimization and remediations, at the same time, the demonstration of key cloud functionalities and executions of a test plans. An early systems integration test may be performed where appropriate, where this can be taken somewhere around 2 to 4 months time. Now, when we talk about stabilization stage, where end-to-end system integration testing and as well as support user acceptance testings are performed, wherein people who are users and as well as trained under the deployment plan is finalized, so that it will be taken somewhere around 2 to 4 months of time. Last but not least, when we talk about deployment stage, where it's a post-production support plan and cloud data access strategies which are being created here. wherein support in reference to the providers usually will be taken a month or a week to 1 month or so. This is how generally the phases of Guidewire in reference to the cloud implementation is being taken. So this is all about this video. If you have any questions followed by any kind of training needs, all that, please reach out to the contact details, which will be posted in below to this video. Thank you.